Welcome back. All right. It is Tuesday. It is time to look at some statistics as we now sit about a month into the National Hockey League season. And the race for the Rocket Richard, there's a lot of players in the race for the Rocket Richard, which is kind of fun. So Nico Hischier, Sam Reinhart, Nikita Kucherov, and Cole Caulfield are all tied for the league leading goals with 10. There are 4 players tied for second with 9. Or I guess fifth with 9 because there's 4 guys tied for first. But the point is, there's 8 players within a goal of each other, all trying for that goal title in the National Hockey League. So that makes it kind of fun. And then the points race is almost as wide open. Sam Reinhart, so that's why I'm wearing Florida, because Florida's going to get brought up a lot here. But yeah, Sam Reinhart, Reinhart's going to get brought up a lot. 21 points tied with Kirill Kaprizov and Cale Makar. So it is very entertaining to see Reinhart, Kaprizov, Makar as your leaders here. And then there's 3 players, 1 point behind them. So 20 points for 3 players with 21. It is truly wide open. So as much fun as it is to see a player running away with the scoring title and having a fantastic season, I think it's kind of more fun to have a bunch of guys just having really good years, and we don't know until the end who's going to end up coming out on top. Now, plus minus, just discussing plus minus briefly here. Sam Reinhart leads the league with plus 13. And looking at the overall numbers, you have to think that if we were having the Hart vote right now, Reinhart would have to get a lot of consideration, would have to be a finalist. Kaprizov's at a plus 12. Kaprizov, I think, would probably be a finalist as well. And maybe Kyle Connor for the Winnipeg Jets, if we had the vote right now. So, yeah. Or, yeah, Kucherov for Tampa as well, sure. But just thinking there should probably be a Jet there since they're 11-1 and all. Now, that's your scoring, and again, and it is a flawed stat, the plus minus definitely, but I thought I'd throw that on the board. Now, penalty minutes, there are 2 players tied for the league lead in penalty minutes. Pat Maroon with 26 and Jack McBain with 26. So a Utah player at the top of the list with penalty minutes, and it's not O'Brien. So that's a mild surprise there that it's not O'Brien, but it is McBain. And yeah, Maroon at the top of the list. I don't think Maroon's going to stay there. That is a lot of penalty minutes in a short period of time. And generally speaking, in today's NHL, we usually don't see that kind of trend continue. But we'll see. Maybe we will have somebody hit the 200 penalty minute mark this year. It feels like it's been a while since we saw that. Ice time for goaltenders. I wanted to look at goalies a little bit different. Every week I want to look at something a little different with them. Jacob Markstrom has the most ice time for any goaltenders, 596 minutes and 28 seconds so far. New Jersey's playing him a lot. Mrazek's getting played a lot by Chicago. Not a surprise there. 595 minutes and 11 seconds. And UC Saros is going to be busy. 593 minutes and 4 seconds for Saros so far. So those 3 goaltenders all highly likely to be busy during this season, although the backup in New Jersey has at times looked pretty darn good. Now, goal support. I wanted to look this up too because it's an interesting one. And sure enough, Logan Thompson is at the tops when it comes to goal support at 5.54 goals per game. And so when he plays in the net, Washington is either elevating their game or they're going out there and playing a wide open style of hockey, which benefits Thompson because if he allows more goals, it's not necessarily going to mean more losses because they're scoring a ton in front of him. So I just wanted to throw that one up there. And again, yeah, goaltenders, it's kind of fun to look at different things. Only 1 regulation loss so far for the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild. At this point in the season, that's absolutely significant. The Jets also lead the league in 4.92 goals scored per game, and they lead the league with a power play at a ridiculous 44.1%. That's going to drop just because that's not sustainable. I can't see any team staying at 44%, but their power play should be really good all season because if you look at the players they could put out there, they should have an excellent power play. The number 1 penalty kill in the league belongs to the New York Rangers. 92.3%. It has been excellent for them, and I would imagine that will continue. 92% is probably a bit high too, though. You would think that number will come down, but we'll see. Hits per 60 minutes. The Vancouver Canucks, a lot of people talk about how soft the team is and everything, which I don't understand. But anyways, 28.65 hits per 60 minutes. Maybe the team was soft back in the day, but at this point, not so much. And the Ottawa Senators a close second at 28.23 hits per 60 minutes. The Oilers are at the bottom with 13.43 hits per 60 minutes. They are a puck control team more than a hitting team, but I am mildly surprised that the Oilers are at the bottom of the list in terms of hits in the National Hockey League. Now, in terms of shot blocks per 60 minutes, the Montreal Canadiens lead there with 20.44. So, going to need a lot of ice packs in their locker room basically every intermission. Whereas the Carolina Hurricanes are at the bottom of the league at 10.8. Now, with Carolina, it's interesting because their shot suppression numbers are high. They're not blocking a lot of numbers. They're also not blocking a lot of shots. They're also not allowing a lot of shots. So it's team defense keeping that puck away from their net. And if they can keep that up, they're going to have a good record. I think where issues come in for them in the playoffs is that's really difficult to maintain throughout the playoffs. And a team playing you 7 times is going to get a better idea for how to break that system down. But the system absolutely works during the regular season and through parts of the playoffs as well. Giveaways per 60 minutes. And there's some speculation about whether or not the NHL's changed how they count this. And I agree. I think this is a really weird, wonky stat that I got directly from the NHL site itself, in that there's tons of giveaways and not tons of takeaways. So the speculation I saw from JFresh, who's on X/Twitter, and he's got his own site and everything. He's got his own Patreon too. I actually subscribe to his Patreon, but what he thinks is that maybe that with the sensors the players have, that when they just dump the puck in, and the other team picks up the puck, that's being counted as a giveaway. So the dump and chase is going to mean that you may end up with a lot more giveaways per 60 minutes. The Flames leading the league at 18.06 giveaways per 60 minutes. The Chicago Blackhawks are last with 11.61. And where it doesn't make a lot of sense is the takeaways are very low, comparatively speaking. Carolina leads the league at 7.23 takeaways per 60 minutes. Tampa Bay is at the bottom of the league at 3.65. So not a lot of takeaways for the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that have looked very good at points this season and then very human at other parts so far this season. Now, net penalties. I always enjoy looking at the net penalties thing. So this is comparing penalties taken by a player versus penalties drawn by a player. So, when the guy is going into the boards and he's able to, make a move where the guy has to trip him in order to prevent a goal going in. Net penalties, Troy Terry leads the league at a +8. So he's drawn, I think it's 10 penalties he's drawn, and he's only gone to the box twice. Whereas Nikita Zadorov, it's the other way around. He has a -8 in terms of his net penalties. I've talked about Zadorov before. I don't consider it to be a criticism. It's just as part and parcel of his game, and you just have to kind of bake that in there. He's going to end up going to the box at times, and you're going to have to be able to make that kill. So as long as Boston's penalty kill comes up from where it's been early in the season, it shouldn't be a problem. Goals saved above expected. Lucas Dostal was leading last week when I did the goalie power rankings. If I did the goalie power rankings today, Igor Shesterkin would be number 1. Dostal would likely be number 2, and I think Sorokin would be number 3. Sorokin's had a good week, and some of the other guys I had on the list have not. But yeah, Shesterkin in terms of goals saved above expected, 16.36 according to Evolving Hockey, and Lucas Dostal at 14.15. So both of these guys having pretty strong starts to the season. And again, it is not getting cheaper to re-sign Igor if you're the Rangers. Wins leaders Connor Hellebuck, no surprise there. He has 8. Shutouts, Anton Forsberg and Jake Allen. Those two are a surprise, both of them with 2 shutouts. Forsberg, after a rough start to the season, has really got it together. Jake Allen has been inconsistent, but still 2 shutouts. That's impressive, and kudos to him. So over this last week, we had 46 games in the National Hockey League. By my count, this upcoming week, we have 51. So mildly busier this coming week than the past week. Some busy days for me, including 11 games tonight, but it is November. November does tend to be the busiest month, the month where every team's playing every other night, and it can be the month, too, where a lot of teams are dealing with injury problems because it's a very busy schedule. The risk of injury seems to go up when that's the case. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Which of these players will end up leading the league in points, or do you think it's going to be somebody who's not on the board? Who's going to win the Rocket Richard Trophy, and why will it be Sam Reinhart? And honestly, if Reinhart keeps this up, I don't see how he doesn't win the Hart. But that's the question mark. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.